Yeah. So meeting is being live streamed. Got it.
Got it.
Setting it up. So who is in the background checking on the quality and so on?
Charlie.
We got Charlie, and Misha knows that we're doing it right now
Oh,
too.
meeting is being live streamed. Okay, now I see that as well. We are live. I have actually copy of that here on my screen.
Perfect.
So, Amanda?
Okay, I'm just making sure Charlie's ready.
I gotta say that your background's very believable, Dr. Bossy.
Ah,
I was a little thrown off. I was like, how did he do that?
Wait 1 minute.
Like, are you here or are we here?
you made this so much work, and I just took a picture of it.
It's true.
Master, the
We should have
master-
copyrighted our.
I know. We should have. I should have charged you for that picture.
Oh,
Well, I think he owns it.
Okay. Minor details.
uh-huh.
Okay, should we start?
We should
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. This is Essence of Life, Friday the 13th. My name is Amanda Armagast.
My name's Alyssa Haber.
And I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence.
So, Alyssa and I actually had to convince Dr. Abbasi today to do this podcast on Friday the 13th because it's such a rare day. It only can happen 3 times.
At max 3 times a year. So that's what, like a fourth, maybe a fourth of the year. I know how Amanda is.
Why did you have to convince me, Amanda?
Well, you're just not really a superstitious person. And I remember
I like the word you mentioned. You said that. Superstition. Go ahead.
I know you're not superstitious because one time I was asking you about psychics and you said if they were a psychic and they could really predict the future, why would they be on Myrtle Beach reading?
Or why would they go and get $20 to read your future? I think anybody's future is worth more than $20. Don't you agree?
I agree.
I say I'd spend a lot of money on that if I knew it was accurate.
Yeah. Well, how much money would you spend if somebody could tell you if you're going to have an accident in 3 weeks?
I would not want to know, to be honest. I actually consider going to the psychic once in a while when I'm in Anoka, and I don't do it because I'll believe what they're telling me. And if they tell me like you're gonna die in a month, I'm gonna be terrified every corner I turn.
And yet,
You're safe, Amanda.
I say, and yet here we are
You're
Talking
safe.
about Friday the 13th.
on
Yeah.
Friday the 13th.
So now, but have you guys done any research where the origin of Friday the 13th is?
We do have some
Wanna-
Friday
you
the
wanna-
13th facts.
Go ahead, enlighten us.
Alyssa, you've been practicing all day.
I
What is it called when you have a phobia of Friday the 13th?
Oh gosh. Okay. There's a couple.
Friday the 13th-ophobia.
There's a couple different phobia names based on the languages that you break it down. But what did I do?
Greek was
I did the Greek version. Okay. Yeah. I did that. Now I'm blanking.
try.
No, it's Frigga.
Yeah.
Do we have it written down? I can't even. I couldn't
No,
even
but-
say it on
But
TikTok.
did you guys know in many buildings, in many places, they don't, if they have the 13th floor, they don't call it 13th floor. Did you know that?
I knew that because I've been to a couple of hotels where they won't even have the button on the elevator that
Did
they
you know?
immediately pass it.
Did you know if they have a 13th floor, that floor is much less occupied than, so they go usually from 12 to 14. Because if they call it 13, I mean, not that the architect or the building owner believe in that, but they know some people do, and that is kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy that because it is everybody considers it a bad block, people don't want to, rent a room there or rent a suite there.
Mm.
So for owner, it's easy thing. Instead of 13, they may go from 12 to 14. Problem solved, right?
Right. You would think.
Yeah. No, but that's what you don't see. They don't have to believe in that. You don't have to believe in certain things to for that to have an effect in our lives.
Mm-hmm.
Because if certain segment of the society, if certain segment of people believe in something, that more or less become a fulfilling prophecy just by the fact that certain people do.
But it makes me wonder, like, does any science back that up? So if there's two buildings next to each other that are both 26 floors, and one of the floors goes up to 27 because they're skipping 13, are there less accidents in that building than there are in the neighbor's building?
No,
Okay.
you can check that off. I mean, there's nothing about the 13 number that makes it unholy or bad luck. In some cultures, actually 7 or 6 or some other numbers are considered bad luck, and that is a cultural thing. But I want to know from you guys, what did you find out about why is the 13, especially Friday the 13th, is considered a bad?
Well, we know how much you like the number 12. And if anybody has watched our previous podcasts, at least in the last couple of weeks, we have explained a lot about why the number 12 is used throughout history, religion, and even today. And so when we were doing some research, we kind of came across the idea that 13 became unlucky because it was the number after 12, which was considered
like the ugly duckling number.
Yeah.
I think you called it earlier.
I did. I called it the ugly duckling number.
Or the naughty number.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. We cannot talk about 13 without talking about 12. For some reason, 12 has been a number that we love. And we are in Minnesota. So what's the origin of Minnesotan? Where most of Minnesotan come from?
Europe.
Huh?
A lot of Scandinavia, I think.
Scandinavia. What did they used to believe? In Odin and Thor and Loki and Valhalla. Did you know that? Oh, wow.
I just heard you name a bunch of Marvel characters.
No, but they come from Nordic mythology. But did you know there were 12 Nordic gods, and the 13th guest was Loki, the mischief god,
who wasn't invited.
And then he came, and every bad thing happened after that, and so on. So it is this 12. It seems to be in the Western Hemisphere, and in the many other cultures, like in Iran. I'm a Shiite. I'm born as a Shiite, and we have imams, those people who should take for Prophet Muhammad and so on. There were 12 of them. Okay, and the 12th one, we say is elevated to heaven with Jesus and will come back with Jesus, something like that. You see, this is not just in most of Western Hemisphere, in some other cultures that had nothing to do with the Abrahamic culture and Western culture. There have some other good number and bad number, but for us, it all goes back to the Babylonian, the number 12. So go ahead. What did you find out about that 13 and 12 that make one good, the other one bad?
Well, we also learned about the 12 disciples.
Yeah, is it surprising? 12 gods, 12 disciples, 12 imams. Go ahead.
Well, we learned that there were the 12 disciples, and the day of the crucifixion, there were 13 people on the 13th, or in the upper room on the 13th of Nisan, Mandrake Thursday. Am I saying that right? Maundy Thursday.
Nissan, like the car Nissan? What is that?
Maybe that's where Nissan made up their name.
Maybe. Nissan is a Japanese company. I would be surprised if they use the Western mythology to make their names, but go ahead.
Sure.
And what else did you find out?
I was saying, just for that, Maundy Thursday is the Thursday before Easter.
Mm-hmm.
Crucifixion, Passover dinner.
The night before the death on Good Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, but why do people believe in something like that? What do you think our brain is wired? No, that's truly what it is.
Well,
our brain is wired to believe in. We love, like, look at the movies. Half of the movies is about something supernatural.
Yeah.
We love it.
Yeah,
Why?
we love to believe in ideas and believe in things that we don't see necessarily or maybe can't control or wrap our minds around. I think that thrill is intriguing to human beings.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I completely had the same thought. I think a lot of what our psychological side of things, like what we believe is what we're told.
Mhm.
And from a very young age, I mean, I knew about Friday the 13th, and I've always associated or been told that, ooh, bad things happen, you know, don't step on cracks, all those superstition things. And you grow up and you just start to believe it. You have that correlation, maybe not with causation, but it's
Yeah.
absolutely, you hear it enough and you just start to, you know, go with it, believe it.
Oh, let's start with what would you guys do or don't on Friday the 13th? What would you guys wouldn't do today?
Hold on. Actually, let's start back one more step. Do we
Okay.
believe in Friday the 13th? Are we superstitious regarding Friday the 13th?
I don't. I'm not.
Yeah, you don't. Alyssa?
I do not believe that it causes something, but when it does occur, I love to use it as
As an excuse.
So if something were to happen today, I'd be like, that's because it's Friday the 13th. But I will admit today's been, knock on wood, pretty good for a Friday the 13th.
Why would you even say that?
Because I want something to happen.
Well, okay, and then I actually don't personally believe in Friday the 13th. I remember when I played hockey when I was younger, there was a year when people were fighting over the number 13. Everyone was saying, "Oh, lucky 13, lucky 13." And these girls fought over the number 13. So I think in my circle growing up, Friday the 13th wasn't really something we were afraid of.
Hmm.
I
But
think
what,
that's kind of interesting.
yeah.
How Friday the 13th, you know, me just being across in another state
Yeah.
was raised just seeing this thing, and Amanda has a different view. And I'm sure Dr. Abbasi, you have a completely different view as well.
Yeah. Well, let's put it again, come back to that. We love this kind of ideas that it's something out there beyond what we just see. We just love it. I mean, stories, Brother Grimm's, witches, angels, and all this stuff that we love to have them involved in our life. We
Mhm.
love to believe that there is more than what we see. And that sort of, if anybody who reads Sigmund Freud or read any psychology, the psychologists have talked about that for ages. And that is because our brain is a pattern recognition machine, literally. Imagine you are 100,000 years ago, you are walking in the jungle, you want to eat half of the animals there, the other half wants to eat you.
Okay.
And you see some shadows somewhere in the corner. If that shadow, imagine, go both ways. Imagine that shadow is nothing, but you think that shadow is the tiger. What happens? Nothing. You just
Your heart rate will really go up.
Yeah, you get an adrenaline rush, but really you survive. But imagine now the other way. That pattern is a tiger, and you don't recognize it. You die.
Mm-hmm.
So the price of believing in a pattern that's not there is much, much lower than not recognizing a pattern that's there. So our brain has gone over millennia to overdrive to, like we see faces in moon. We anthropomorphize anything we see. And that carries on this behavior. This is engraved in us. This is in our brain. Not only we love it, our survival has dependent on recognizing patterns. So in a way, we have learned that there is really not a big price of believing on things if they are not true. Well, with some limitation, but not recognizing things that exist has a high price for us. And
Yeah.
in that sense, it makes totally engraved itself in our brain that we see figures in the clouds?
Mhm.
Or do you think there is a giraffe in the cloud?
I do.
A little imagination goes a long ways.
Yeah, but you see that there, that is in our poetry, that's in our history, that is in our, like, they decided that what is a good day for to go to war or not. Like, they truly made big decisions based on, and then it comes as well, lots of number 12 as well as with astrology.
Yeah.
Okay, those zodiac signs, there are 12 of them, right?
Mhm.
Months, there are 12 of them. It could be 25 or 60, but no, there are 12. As a matter of fact, in Napoleonic time, they tried to get away from these hours and 12 hours in a day and so on. They tried to have it like, 100 hours or something, but they couldn't just establish that. This 12 comes from the very old engraved in us from our astrology, where we saw these patterns in the sky and we gave them a name,
Mm-hmm.
which are the zodiac sign. Okay, in the northern hemisphere, you see each of these constellation. But did you know some of them are not even in our galaxy?
Yeah.
It's like, like, imagine I take the walls away behind you and I see you two, but there are 5 other people in the shop 5 kilometers away, and then another person 1,000 miles away, and I put all 4 of you together. I said these 4 people, they're hanging out together. That is what
Yeah.
the constellation are.
I think we should try it.
I have a question. So what how much do you think community has to play with Friday the 13th? Community as in, like, Alyssa, I'm trying to get Alyssa to believe that Friday the 12th is actually the best day in the world. And so Alyssa joins my group of Friday the 12th because she wants to be a part of a community. Do you know what I mean?
I
How
totally
much do
know
you
what you mean.
how much do you think community has to play in Friday the 13th?
Again, in one of the things our brain is wired for is pattern recognition. The other thing our brain is wired for is community, sense of community. We are social animals. We are social group of people. Our strength is in our social coherence, that we defend each other, we support each other, we save each other's kids, and so on and so forth. Okay, but that is not different. That is in lots of higher mammals, what we call the family that we belong to. And do you know what family that is? It's called, we are in the family of apes. Some people, primate, and primate is the big, smaller, and then bigger family, and then we are in the ape, and then humanoid group. All of us, what we have in common, we are group animals. Okay, so a group has to find something that connects them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you just described something that, like you made them, even if it's made up, it helps us to connect.
Absolutely. I think I'm seeing a lot of connections over the last couple podcasts we've had on holidays. Not that Friday the 13th is a holiday, but it kind of is recognized.
Yeah, I think if you're afraid of Friday the 13th, you would consider it.
Yeah, I would say a holiday, but it's something that is recognized across at least the United States. I have also seen a correlation with Friday the 13th being associated with scary movies, or being in the titles of scary movies around Halloween time.
What is the name of that movie, the main villain in Friday the 13th?
Oh gosh, I don't know his name.
The villain in Friday the 13th?
Yeah, is it Jason? No.
Isn't Jason Freddy Krueger?
No, Jason, Freddy Krueger.
Charlie, can you text me
I'm thinking Michael Myers, but that's Halloween.
Yeah, no.
Charlie, can you text us the name of the main villain in Friday the 13th? I thought Friday the 13th was a comedy.
Oh, Jesus, your sense of comedy is so awful.
Hey, she loves Halloween, okay?
I do love Halloween, and that's part of why I'm not afraid of Friday the 13th. But I thought that, what is it then? Isn't there a parody?
Jason, it is Jason. Come on. It is. I just Googled it. It is Jason.
I mean the Scream movies.
Oh,
Those are
Scream.
comedy.
Okay, Scream are
Yeah.
Yeah, those are comedy.
yeah
Those are
comedy.
Scream
Friday the 13th.
Screams are comedies?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Find those funny.
You know, people get slashed open. These slasher movies.
Well, Hobbit, isn't that what you kind of do every day in surgery?
Not
What?
anymore.
That's
What?
true.
Minimally
What?
invasive.
Minimally invasive.
Sweet Lord. Now, I'm coming back to that. You see, we have something to talk about. We talk about
Exactly.
Friday the 13th. We talk about Jason movies. We talk about this. We talk about the Disney movies, this superhero movies, and so on.
All the Marvel movies.
Marvel movies. All these things are things that it combine us, it connect us. We have something to talk about. This kind of strengthens our social bond, social community, sense of community. Imagine you go to a party, half of them, they know, not even believe, but know what Friday the 13th movies are or the Marvel movies are. The other one, they have no idea. They have some funky Chinese movies that they talk about or
Yeah.
of. Who are you going to bond better and more?
The people I relate with.
Yeah, and that is this is a, you know, we sometimes we create this pattern that give us something to combine, that we sit on a campfire and we talk about like scary
Ghost
stuff.
stories. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was imagining. I was imagining
Yeah.
people sitting around a fire being like, on Friday the 13th.
Yeah. So you see, we shouldn't completely dismiss this superstition, but we have to recognize, I mean, it is really silly if there is a good deal on Friday the 13th. I say, oh no, this is Friday the 13th. I'm not going to do that good deal. Or I need a medical procedure. And say, oh, it's Friday the 13th. I'm not going to have the surgery because
Has that ever
that
happened
would
to you?
be, not to me. I just
No.
did 3 surgeries, went beautifully. No
But
problem.
you've never had a patient say like, oh, I can't come. It's Friday the 13th.
Well, the thing is, maybe they never get to that point that
Yeah.
they say, you know, they sometimes people know it's silly. They find a different reason if they believe in that. Even people who believe in that, they know it's silly.
Yeah.
Most people with, you know, the phobias are aware that they are kind of outlandish and out there. But we kind of saw in our research that there was about 17 to 21 million people that have this specific phobia or some sort of fear or are marketed by fear on Friday the 13th.
No kidding. And
Yeah.
on lots of airplanes, they don't have a row 13.
I heard that. I
A
saw
lot of
that too.
hotels. Yeah.
Yeah, no floor.
And
no-
it's kind of a newer thing. I think the fear of Friday the 13th started happening in the 19th century.
Yeah.
Again, I think a lot of it has to do with that's kind of, you know, about the same time when we started marketing other things such as like Black Friday.
Mhm.
Oh,
Again, were we using it for a
Mhm.
holiday or were we using it for, you know, more of a tactic?
yeah, commerce.
But
Yeah. Well, once we, as a society, as a culture, as a group of people, we decide on something, even if it's totally made up, it gets its own life, its own kind of perimeter of belief and, you know, action, that it makes it actually true. Okay, and in a way, you know, imagine if you're if you're a person that, you know, people think you are unlucky, they avoid you, then you will become unlucky.
That's actually
That
so
is true.
true.
Yeah.
speak it into existence.
That's why I never say anything bad about myself. I
can confirm.
Okay.
she
Okay.
knows.
Now, for people who don't know, please go watch Amanda's TikTok when she's crying. And okay, this is the premise of that. She's crying. I'm crying all afternoon. My ex called me. I'm so sad. it must be really hard to lose somebody like me. And she's totally serious about that. Please go watch that. That is truly a
It
bliss.
is pinned on her TikTok.
Yeah.
Oh,
You absolutely need to go watch it. So, with that attitude, Amanda, you make yourself happiest person, luckiest person alive.
yeah. Alyssa
All the
can
time.
attest.
All the time. She'll say that. She's like, I'm actually pretty happy today.
Okay,
It
but
doesn't matter.
should I tell you something magical now about that?
Yeah, please.
I'm going to tell you something magical. It was a study. This study was performed on a bunch of students. They showed this bunch of students a movie, a short movie. This movie had an open end.
Mm.
And the open end, you could interpret if it's a good movie, it's not that people get together or somebody dies. You could interpret however you wanted, if movie goes good or bad. And then they put a questionnaire and the people had to say what they thought, if the movie goes the right way or wrong way and so on. But that's not obviously, there are some people who say it goes well, everything is good. The others say, no, it's not going well and so on. So optimist and pessimist. Amanda, you're the optimist.
Thank you.
So
That's my choice. I just want to make sure everyone knows I don't think I was born an optimist. I chose to be an optimist because you can choose to look on the bright side or on the negative side.
mhm.
And I try to I actually tell myself every day how happy I am.
And she actively does. If she's upset or something's going on, she'll be like, nope, no, I'm not.
But that is not the magic yet.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
The
I'm ready.
magic is they measured the immune system parameter in those students before and after. The same event, they watched the same movie. Those people who were optimists and said the movie goes well, their immune system boosted. The parameter, interferon and so on, they went higher. Those pessimists, the immune system went down. So who do you think is going to have a disease and a cold? Or if one of those two group of people who have cancer, who do you think who's going to have a better outcome? People with the lower immune system or with the higher immune system?
Higher immune system.
That is magic. That the way you think about life actually physically change your body's capacity to deal with it. And that should not be underestimated in any ways, okay? So if you come and say, I'm going to beat it, it is statistically more likely that you will. And if you come to the life and say, I can't do no more, and this is, I'm done and I'm giving up, that is statistically it's more likely that your body will follow your train of thoughts in that direction. So I think I'm talking about the Friday the 13th and so on, obviously, as well. This is not without the price. If you need a medical treatment and you say, I'm not going to get it because it's Friday the 13th, you might not be alive on Monday the 15th.
True.
Mhm.
That's
So-
yeah.
So, but or Monday the 16th. But what I'm getting at, this pattern that we have developed with the Friday the 13th or any other pattern, they have, to a certain point, the legitimacy in our biological way we are wired. So it is 3:37.
I have a question for Alyssa. As a believer,
Borderline.
what types of things, and I know you're not a huge believer, but is there anything that you do avoid on Friday the 13th?
That's a good question. I'm not one that I mark it on my calendar.
Yeah.
Like I don't know ahead of time. I'll look, the week of and be like, oh, huh. I don't think that there's anything that it would stop me from doing,
Mhm.
but I would admit that it probably does make me think twice.
Okay.
Like if I were to go travel or do something, if I want to do it, I'm going to do it regardless. But am I going to think like, oh, it is Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Make sure I get gas before I go. Maybe I check my tire pressure.
Yeah, you
the
take
little
extra
things.
precautions versus you would more likely take an extra precaution than to not do something.
Yeah, I would agree. I would absolutely take more
Mhm.
precautions on Friday the 13th than I would
Well,
on Monday the 16th.
Yeah,
So
then,
we're all reasonable here.
then every day should be for you the Friday the 13th because you should
No,
caution
no.
every day.
every day almost feels
Extra
like
careful.
Friday the 13th. I'm a very prepared person, so I tend to have my ducks in a row. So I don't think I could afford that.
What about you, Amanda?
I'm living my life. I don't let Friday the 13th stop me,
Just like any other day today.
just like any other day.
Guess what Amanda's doing tonight?
Party.
Who's doing party?
I'm having
She's leaving her house, and I am hiding
Wow.
and being safe tonight.
Oh, wow, wow.
and I'm
Well-
gonna ask all my friends if they believe in Friday the 13th. I don't think
Make
they
a
do.
TikTok.
I think I will.
should.
Actually, I will make one.
Well, it was actually, it was a little, what I try not to do on Friday the 13th is a podcast, but I guess I had no choice.
Now you're forced to do two, and I'm actually even gonna ask you to do another one.
Smile though. You can't tell me that you don't want to be here.
Yeah, he loves it.
So, but it was actually better than I thought. We talked about more than just the superstition part of it, but they go about the history of it, about why we are biologically wired, and as well that it has possibly a positive effect in our social life to believe in something that we all believe in, like no different than why people love baseball or football, or
Mhm.
it's something that get them together.
That's so true.
Otherwise, it would be silly. Somebody throws a ball and somebody else with the bat, and then everybody runs and everybody swears. And
And people are tackling each other, like physically jumping on each other to
Me,
get
yeah.
this ball.
Me, when I watch people run around a track 90 million
But-
times, I'm like,
I know.
but that combines us. That
Yeah,
exactly.
does.
And,
it gives them something to talk about to a stranger meeting a bar.
Mhm,
Nothing to say to
absolutely.
each other except talking about the scores and some reference to that and so on.
And it gives us something to look forward to. Also, I kind of think the idea of being afraid of Friday the 13th is a little bit sweet and cozy. I almost wish I was afraid, so then I can be like, no, I have to stay home. Like, I have to be
Okay,
so careful.
I'm going to pay somebody to come and literally make noise in your backyard
You
tonight.
don't even need to pay anyone because I've been afraid for the last 2 nights.
Don't worry. And also confirm that.
I come to work both nights like, oh my gosh, you guys, I swear someone's in my basement.
Someone's been in my backyard the last 3
I'm like,
days.
I'm too afraid to call my neighbors again.
I told her Lily and Chimmy are gonna take care of her, but
Yeah. Well, has been good. I have to prepare my case conference. For people who are maybe watching this, we are going to talk about acromegaly. A
Oh,
very, very
that'll be an
that
interesting
is
one.
interesting.
Mhm.
a good one.
Yes, it is. Well, but I guess we can wrap it up now. What do you
Thanks for
think?
watching, guys. Have a safe Friday the 13th.
Enjoy your weekend. My name's Alyssa Hopper.
My name is Amanda Armagast.
And I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence.
Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you guys.
Thanks.